Hey you, and welcome. In this video, we're going to look at some popular HTML tags that you may be working with. So let's dive right into it. I have my VS Code open. I have the file explorer open. I have something.html. Let's set up our VS Code so we can quickly see what we're typing by splitting our screen and opening the simple browser with our live server running. All right, so let's quickly do that. I'll do Command-Shift-P, live server. Make sure the live server is running. There is a keyboard shortcut, so if you want to use that, Command-L, Command-O, that does that too. With my server running, I will split my screen to the right. I'm using my keyboard shortcut. You can just press the button on the right if you like. And I'll do Command-Shift-P again, and this time I'll open the simple browser to show HTTP:// double slashes localhost. Ooh, made a spelling mistake. Localhost 5500, that's the port that live server works on. Press enter. And there we go. Let me close that. Let me close my file explorer as well. And with my browser open, you would notice that we actually don't see hello world anymore. And the reason for that is because we're working in something.html instead of, there is a file called index.html. So all the servers by default will always look for a file called index.something. If it's a CSS file, index.css. If it's a JavaScript file, index.js. If it's a HTML file, index.html. And if it does exist, that's the one they're going to show. If it doesn't exist, it's going to ask you where do you want to go, and you can say /something.html. So index.html became our default when we created that. So I'll go over to index.html, and that will be our new file that we write the code in. All right. So let's write hello world just to test, make sure everything is working. Save. Refresh. There we are. Perfect. So it's rendering just fine, but I want to start writing some HTML code. I don't want to just write plain text. So how do I do that? The easiest way would be use VS Code to write the code for you. So I can do Command-Shift-P, search for something called the snippets. They are built into VS Code. Insert snippet, and I can work with HTML doc, and that just inserts it for me. Perfect. So that wrote the code that I would need to write before I can write some custom code for myself. If I save this, it will not render anything. I have to refresh, seems like. Nothing will show. The reason for that is because in the body tag, we don't have hello world anymore, and we're not using any other tags. So let me introduce you to your first tag, which is going to be H1. HTML has 6 type of headings, H1 to H2, H3, H4, H5, H6. Those are the 6 different types of headings. You don't really have to worry about which one to use where. When we get to building our projects, we won't really worry about which one is H1 or 2, and we're just going to end up using a design library instead. So you can always just work with H1 to H2 or H3. Either one would be fine, but they do make the change in the size. So let me show you. If I write hello world, H1 is large, whereas H2 is a little smaller, and H3 is smaller than that. Save, and let's copy over all of these, and let's make all of them H4, H5, H6. Closing tag has to be exactly the same tag, otherwise it won't really render properly. So I'll go ahead and save this, and that's the different headings that we can work with. Let's talk about the syntax a little bit. You would notice that H1 tags has diamond brackets. The word H1 is surrounded by diamond brackets, less than sign and the greater than sign. Those are called diamond brackets in coding. And H1 is lowercase, so most of the HTML tags will be lowercase. And I'm using H1 here. And for the closing tag, it is diamond brackets again, but there is a slash before the word H1. So that's how you do closing tags. There is something called a self-closing tag. I'll show you that right now. So I'll start with less than sign, BR tag, and closing slash with greater than sign. I don't need the space, but it's just a convention, makes it easier to read. So I'll put the space, it doesn't really matter. I'll go ahead and save, and you would notice that my hello world H1 and H2 moved apart a little bit. So BR is line break. It just makes another line break for you in the text editor, right? So that's a self-closing tag, whereas H1, H2, those are closing tag with content inside it. So we have tags, content, and then closing tag. Perfect. Those are headings. Let's talk about the P tag, which is the paragraph tag, and I can provide some text in there. Lorem ipsum, save, and the p tag will just render out the text that you write inside the content. If you wanted to do a line break, notice if I put a line break here and just press enter, save, nothing really happens. The line break doesn't exist. If I write more lines after, more lines, and do line breaks, HTML doesn't care about that line break. And the reason for that is because it needs to define based on the tag. So the p tag itself, it can have as much text as you want in there, but it doesn't care about the line breaks that you enter in your IDE. If you want the text to go on the next line, you have to start a new p tag like this, save, and that goes on the next line. And I can just keep adding next line by adding more p tags into my browser, into my HTML. All right, next let's talk about links, hyperlinks, and they are done by using the a tag. It's called the anchor tag. So you're creating an anchor to go to the next file, and I'll just close that and provide a link. Press enter, and the link is available. However, I cannot click on it. It's just a regular text. So how do you make it into a link? Well, link will take, a tag will take a attribute. A attribute in HTML is something that goes inside the diamond brackets of the tag. So in this case, a tag diamond bracket, I have to put a space. And there, the space is mandatory, of course, but otherwise it will become part of the tag. So if I try to write something here, it just assumes that the rest of the text that you wrote is a tag name. So we have to put a space, and then we can write href equals to double quotes, and then provided the file that you want it to go to. In this case, something.html, which is on the same level. And if I press enter or save, I can see the link now has underline, is blue in color, browser detects that it's a link, and if I click into it, it will take me to something.html, which is on the same level. I'll click on back and go back to our HTML file that we have open, and let's talk about the attribute a little bit more. The href tag cannot just have file names, but it can also have the URL to an external website. So if I take away in the double quotes the something.html and replace it with https:// let's go to google.ca, press save, and if I click on link, I am using the simple browser in my VS Code that doesn't really allow a redirect, so I can't really see it, but in the real browser you would be able to click on this and go to the google.ca from your website. So that's another thing that you can do. And one more thing I will show, if I go move this a tag all the way to the top. Now attributes, let's create some more attributes for other HTML tags. The a tag is not the only one that has the attribute. All the HTML tags have this attribute called ID equals to, and then you can provide a unique ID that you would remember for later on. So let's say H1 would be ID H1. I'll just call it as is. And let's do the other ones as well. Let's make it so that it goes here and here. Let's change the ID to H1, H2. If I just left it as is and the IDs were not unique, it's gonna still render. It's just that when we try to add some functionality based on the ID, it won't know which one to pick, so it will fail at that point. So I'll go ahead and save. Let's see what happens if I change my href to now hashtag H4. And to make that work, I have to put H4 off the screen, because right now H4 is on screen. It's not really going to jump to that. So I'll just add a view H2s to push it down. Let's say that. Okay, perfect. So H4 is somewhere down there. I don't know which one. I'll go ahead and click and see it navigates to that. So I can also have inline navigation within my page to go to different section of my page. And that's how you would write blog posts back when the internet just had HTML at that point. The first web pages were all built on HTML, and that's how they used it. All right. Next, let's talk about lists. We have option of different lists. There is ordered list, which will take in the list item, and list item can be anything, content. I can say 1, 2, and then copy paste 3. And notice at this point now we're seeing, instead of the HTML tag OL having content of text, this has another HTML tag as the content, and then that HTML tag has the actual string value, or the value that we're trying to render. So this is also something that is possible with other tags. In case of P, I can just put in another tag in there, something called span. And span tag is just going to wrap something around. It's not going to have too much styling, so no styles. Or it will inherit the styles of the parent tag. In this case, P tag is the parent tag. I'll go ahead and save, and we would see the list render at the bottom. It has the number already, and the reason for that is because we did OL tag. OL is ordered list. So it's providing us the order 1, 2, 3. And then for the span tag where we had no styles, you can see that it's on the same line, not like p tag where it was going to the next line. It stays on the same line. So browser treats span tag a little differently compared to the p tag. And span tag, usually you would use that to have some inline parts rather than p tag, which will be used for actual body text. All right, so with ordered list, let's copy that, or actually, let's not copy it. Let's do unordered list, so ul. There we are. And then it will take the same li list item. And in this case, I will say coffee, pizza, drink, save. And instead of 1, 2, 3, it will have the bullet points. So that's unordered list for HTML. And finally, let's take a look at 2 attributes that are always available on every HTML tag. One of them would be class. And class name could be anything, literally anything. So I can write anything, or I can say space something. And we will see how classes are used when we start working with CSS to select them based on the classes. Right now, classes are not serving us too much of a purpose because we're not doing any styling. But this class attribute equals to string value is available on every HTML tag. And then also another one that is available to us is called style. And we can provide some styling in there. That's used for CSS. We will talk about that in a later video, but for now, let me just try and provide a background color of red to show how that works. Save it, and you can see that the browser knows that background color red means this color, and that's how it would be rendered. All right, great. With that out of the way, I'll see you all in the next video.